Our presentation from the movie American Psycho on the character Patrick Bateman. I'm David Guajardo.
And I'm Preston Wagner. This is our presentation.
This is the contents. Our first slide will be about the description. Second slide, the diagnosis slash evidence. Third slide, the impact. Fourth slide, treatment. Fifth slide, broader and cultural perspectives. And the sixth slide will be our reference page. So the description of Patrick Bateman. Patrick Bateman is the main character in the film American Psycho, which was released in 2000. He's a wealthy, image-obsessed banker in the 1980s Manhattan. He appears polished, charming, and successful, but privately displays extreme narcissism, emotional detachment, violentness, and antisocial behavior. The film is set in the late 1980s, New York City, a culture defined by excess, consumerism, prestige, and competition. Bateman is surrounded by a social environment that prioritizes wealth, status symbol, and superficial connections. The diagnosis and evidence of Patrick Bateman, he does have antisocial personality disorder, also known as ASPD. Antisocial personality disorder is a pervasive and violation of rights of others. Core features include law breaking, aggressiveness, reckless disregard for safety, persistent irresponsibility, and lack of remorse. So the first symptom, which he does show, is lack of remorse. The DSM-5 description highlights lack of remorse as a pattern of aggressiveness, along with violation of others' rights. Throughout the film, Bateman repeatedly kills people and narrates these murders without any remorse, as a lack of remorse is a strong indication of ASPD. The second symptom is deceitfulness, as DSM-5 lists deceitfulness among the core criteria in antisocial personality disorder. Within the film, Bateman constantly manipulates coworkers and others while maintaining a normal image at work and social settings, as these are all signs of ASPD. A symptom not shown is irresponsibility. As in the film, Bateman maintains a high status job in banking and is concerned about his image, career, and material status. He does not show employment instability or inability to follow work obligations within the film. A key role in the movie is that Bateman can function like a regular person, which makes the DSM-5 symptom absent within Patrick Bateman.
So, how does this impact the character? Um, in his personal life, Bateman is extremely incapable of forming meaningful relationships. He has basically no friends in the movie, and a lot of these relationships are just really empty. He and his fiance Evelyn have a horrible relationship and cheat on each other pretty often. Bateman really struggles to find any true substance in a relationship. In the professional setting, Bateman's able to get away with a lot of his episodes just because of the culture on Wall Street. Um, he slips up a little bit, he displays some out of line tropes by drawing on his calendar and journal and all that crazy stuff. But he gets away with it time and time again. In his social life, he basically does not have any real friends. He smiles, laughs, and even seems upset when everyone else is, but it's just a mask. He feels nothing, and he's just displaying fake emotions. In reality, Bateman is completely isolated, even though he appears to be socially successful. Um, Bateman also has a lot of breakdowns. At the same time, all the people around him are much too caught up in the bright, superficial lights of New York City to notice. He's extremely overlooked by everyone around him, and he struggles to be seen or heard by everyone. Here are treatment plans. So ASPD doesn't have a definitive cure. It's not something that can just go away. Because of this, you have to work on it, right? So we have to do cognitive benefit therapy or CBT. CBT focuses on identifying these twisted beliefs and basically just attacking them over and over again. So the first step would be to identify what he believes and then proving to him why that's wrong and just helping him break these habits. So, this, along with risk focused strategies like anger management or violence prevention programs, would definitely be the most effective way for Bateman to get treatment. Um, Empirical studies also agree that CBT based approaches would be pretty effective in this circumstance. Um, Bateman is very aggressive and definitely displays some criminal like behavior, so that would definitely benefit him. There are a lot of possible barriers, though. So Bateman really has no reason to seek help, and CBT based approaches basically require you to want to better yourself. If you just make someone go to it, they're not going to get everything that they can out of it, and it's not going to be effective at all. So, since he has no motivation, um, it just wouldn't really work. But just to entertain the idea, say Patrick Bateman were either wanted to or were forced into a mental program, do we have any reason to believe that he's telling the truth to the therapists or the people working with him? I don't really think we do. And how do we know that he's not manipulating them just like everyone else in his life? It's a very crazy thing to think about. So, culture and Patrick Bateman. Um, ASPD is prevalent across all continents, but it's often expressed quite differently from region to region. This is due to the fact that many different cultures have differing levels of norm concerning individualism, aggressiveness, etc., etc. The list goes on and on. Research has shown, though, that individualistic cultures usually diagnose ASPD at higher rates, which is pretty interesting. Um, Bateman likely would not have been diagnosed with ASPD back in the 80s in New York. Um, he would have more likely been diagnosed with narcissistic traits or stress related disorder. Though ASPD is the best fit, it's almost certain that he would not have been diagnosed with this just because of the climate of corporate America in the 80s. Though the traits of Bateman are certainly possible, they're extremely exaggerated for cinematic purposes. This is not what the typical ASPD patient looks like. Um, because of this, the film creates a somewhat inaccurate stigma linking ASPD patients with psychopathic serial killers. Obviously, the two do not coincide together very often. The influence of the film American Psycho has had some lasting effects on American culture since its release in 2000. The most notable being the discouragement of seeking treatment for males. Most young men see Bateman as some incredible superhero who's able to live a double life. Um, and this obviously poorly represents mental illness and the importance of its treatment.
Here is our source and reference page, and we thank you guys for tuning in. And this completes our presentation.
Thank you.